going on, everybody, and welcome to Project X Talk. In today's video, I want to discuss my experience as a new player to Sea of Thieves in 2022, and how you can get in on the ground floor without feeling like a fish out of water. Now, before we begin, I promise to keep the pirate puns to a minimum. Just make sure you are comfortable. That was really forced. As always, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one, and if you want to see me and the gang get together and talk about the latest in gaming, make sure to catch us every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern for Project X Talk and Xbox Podcast. Also, check us out on your local podcast services, posting every Friday after the live show. Without further ado, don your eye patches and get your sea legs. It's time to jump into the world of Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is a first-person action-adventure developed by Rare and published by the then-named Microsoft Game Studios on March 20th, 2018. This lies the first of many things that kept me from playing the game. I had thought to myself over the past year that surely an online game at this age would be saturated with players who are either really, really good or really, really toxic. The servers would be nothing but cesspools of bad behavior, griefing, and players doing what they can to gain the edge. This notion was shattered in my first foray into Sea of Thieves, and has evolved over my subsequent 7 play sessions as of this writing. Don't be fooled, the Sea of Thieves is a dangerous ocean to traverse. You will be set upon by other bloodthirsty players who want your loot and supplies, but it's not done in any way that would make you feel like you're being bullied. This is a game about pirates after all. Much to my surprise, though, the majority of my interactions with other old salts on the high seas were positive, ranging from spamming ahoy in the chat as you make a friendly passing, to another plunderer recognizing me as a new player and stopping to offer a hand. But this highlights what makes other player interactions so interesting in Sea of Thieves. Once you spot another ship's mast on the horizon, so many different things could happen. The feeling of dread when you see a galleon steaming towards you while you're laden with treasure, wondering what their intentions are. It's the tension and build up to the moment of conflict that makes the interaction so special. The moments you're battening down the hatches and loading the cannons, you have no clue what will come next. Will they fire first? Should I fire first? Are they friendly? Are they flying an alliance flag? Would it be worth trying to take their ship? Overall, I found the Sea of Thieves community, or at least the ones I have interacted with so far, to be accepting and tough. They will be as likely to extend a hand of friendship as they are to knock you down and take all that you hold dear. None of it seems unfair, though, and every interaction is as exciting as the next. Another thing that stopped me from ever jumping in is the lack of friends who also play the game. Solo play in this game can be difficult. You need to manage sail, navigation, combat, damage control, and resources. It can be a very heavy load. Yes, solo play can be difficult and dangerous, but at times the most rewarding. You can take everything at your own pace, and you don't feel pressured to do all the massive events or fortresses like your crew may want to. At first, the mechanics will be challenging for a new solo player. The main points of management will be steering, sail, sail angle, and anchor position. In 4 days, though, I found myself smoothly moving through the mechanics of navigation, able to make landings and participate in combat effectively. At its core, though, Sea of Thieves is meant to be played with others, and if you're like me and had no one to play with, you could do one of two things. Join a podcast group on the internet that goes live every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and talks about the latest and greatest of gaming, or you could take advantage of the Assemble Crew functions, which connects you with the thousands of players who are also looking for others to set sail with. In my experience with the community is reflective of what it truly is. You will find a salty crew happy to take you on as their little greenhorn. Another barrier of entry for many is the fact that Sea of Thieves is a live service game. You figure there is so much content that you already missed out in the last 5 years that there's no point in jumping in. This couldn't be farther from the truth. As a new player in 2022, I am playing the best of what Sea of Thieves is. Long gone are the quality of life issues and conflict with crossplay that came before. Quests are abundantly spread throughout the world, and a massive variety of adventures await you. Yes, you may have missed some of the exclusive cosmetics, but really, who cares? As a new player, you get to come into the experience with a fresh set of eyes, and boy, will you have a lot of things to look at in this beautifully crafted world. Alright, enough blubbering from me. I wanted to bring in a familiar face, or voice rather, to this video to discuss this game. Garrett, aka Wayworn G, welcome to the Sea of Thieves video. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, and after this, we're going to be setting sail on the Sea of Thieves, but before that, I wanted to hit you with some questions real quick to talk to our audience. I wanted to bring you in because you've been a player of Sea of Thieves for a while now. How long exactly have you been playing this game?
I started playing it 2 weeks after the Ashen update, where
Okay.
like they added that whole little like lava area. So like
Hmm.
I think it was just before the end of year one
Okay. So you've been
when I
at this
started.
for a few years now in this
Yeah, a
game.
few years.
Yeah.
I'll always pick it back up. It's one of those games that I just don't quite have enough reasons to uninstall it.
Yeah. So it's been a
Yeah.
couple days since our last voyage, but I wanted to get your perspective and opinions as someone who's been playing this game for quite some time. The first question I have for you is, what brought you to Sea of Thieves in the first place? Did you have friends that played it, or did you see it and say, I just want to jump into this? And what has kept you engaged all this time playing this game?
Actually, my little brother got it for me as a Christmas gift,
Oh,
so like I
that's a
thought
sweet
I'd give it a
story.
whirl. Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
And then I'm just one for like peaceful chaos, and like I told you about that on like the first game
Yeah.
day we played together. It's like anything could happen. You could have a day where it's nice fishing, and you're just collecting gold on the beach. Everything goes well, or complete and utter chaos can happen.
Yeah, and
Right?
I
Like,
definitely have experiences of both so far, and I think it's cool too because earlier in the video I talked about how the community. At first, I was apprehensive because I thought this game has been out for a few years. I was worried that the community would be toxic at this point and it would be full of players just griefing each other. But I was pleasantly surprised to find there's a good mixed bag of each. And even when I was
yep.
getting cannonballed out of existence, it still didn't feel toxic. It felt like a good experience and part of the game. Can you speak on that a little bit? How has the community grown or gotten better throughout the years? Did it used to be toxic like that? Were there any road bumps along the way with this game?
Um, the community, if anything, it's gotten to become almost too pacifist in a way.
Hmm.
It's like when we were playing, people were coming in like, "Hey, did you want to join on an alliance server?" I'm like, no, because like that's half the game for me at least. But other people are more interested in getting money. But
Right.
it has a real healthy community either way. Sometimes, like we were, I think, like in the 2 days we played, you had like three different encounters with other people, and all of them
Right.
were varied. So
Hmm.
like I think that's a good healthy mix.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are aggressive, sometimes people are helpful, sometimes people just come in guns a
Don't
blazing.
say a thing and just start firing
Yeah,
cannons. Yeah. Couple of those
yeah,
experiences, they were fun. So you're
yeah.
so what you're saying is it's kind of gotten more passive over time. It seems like everyone's getting tired of the
Well,
cat and
yeah, they
mouse
just
rat race.
yeah, it could take hours to sink another ship if they're competent and they know what they're doing.
Right.
Or you could just buddy up with them, move on, and get half of everything that they earned, right? There's no real downside to being in an alliance, so the only people that are out there to sink are people with that intent. If you're
Right.
just there to make money, yeah,
Exactly. Um,
pacifist way.
Yeah. All right. So you've talked about how the servers and the community at large has started to get a little more passive over time. Would you say the quality of life in this game is better nowadays than it was back in the day? Do you think there's a lot more creature comforts for new players coming in 2022 as compared to 2018 or 19?
Oh, definitely. Even the last update, they even had like a formal quality of life update.
Yeah.
But it's almost amazing how there's probably been two or three iterations, and each of them, it's impressive how you could flush out one experience,
Hmm.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not Sea of Thieves 2, it's just they've added a whole bunch of improvements to it,
It's
right?
just like a living world that
And
keeps going.
yeah, yeah, it just keeps growing, and it's not just little things like they'll could redo parts of your ship,
Hmm.
redo voice commands, all sorts of things just to make it easier for everyone to communicate more.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess the last question I have for you is for those of you watching that have never played this game before and maybe had some of the same concerns I did before jumping into this, what would you, as a more experienced player, say to them? Would you have any advice for them? Anything to calm their nerves, maybe on jumping into Sea of Thieves?
Um, there's not too much to say. It's a hell of an experience. You could probably say it better than I can, but everyone comes into every game the same.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter if you're a person on your first day or if you're a person on your hundredth or hundredth. Jesus. But the quality or the whole gaming experience gets better as time goes on, and it's just your skill that improves. But every game starts with either a sloop, a brig, a galleon, and I've seen a galleon be absolutely destroyed by a sloop. Even when me and you were playing just the other day, a guy came in on a brig, a 3-man ship, and there was just 2 of us, and I got rid of him pretty quick,
Yeah.
all by myself, before anybody really noticed. Yeah,
I actually have a
it's
funny
just
story related to that. Remember I was telling you before we started this recording that the other day I had an interaction with a person that just rolled up on me while I was on an island, and I got on their ship, right? And they're like, "Oh, they've been playing since day one." They told me they've been playing the whole time, and you could tell the moves this guy was doing, some of the stuff he was doing, it looked like robotic almost. Like he knew exactly what to
yeah,
do every scenario. I was like, "Do you need me to help you do navigation or anything?" He's like, "No, I got it." And so we came across a galleon. We're on a sloop, right? He was running solo before me. And we come across a galleon, and it turns and it starts to chase us. And he's like, "Watch this." And so he does the little sword thing that shoots you off the deck, right? Beelines it
yeah,
directly to this galleon, which I would say is like 800 yards away. Like it is not a short distance away. He gets there, immediately drops their anchor. I see the whole ship just boom and turn like this. And then he sets the deck on fire and does the same thing and swords back. And then he's like, they won't chase us again. And what happens? We see them turn and start going to us again. He does that same thing 4 times before they get the message and turn off and stop chasing us. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. So there are a lot of players out there that have those skills. So, I mean, would you say to a new player, if you encounter a player with that skill, just give up the fight at that point? If you see them doing the things that guy did?
well, I don't know. Personally, I'm like there's learning and struggling and failure.
Yeah.
So give a good chase, you'll learn a lesson. But
You'll learn definitely a lot of lessons in this game. I feel like I can tell
yeah,
you, and I'm
there's a
excited to keep
good,
playing.
like, what's that word for it? The bell curve. There's a
Yeah,
good steep learning curve to it. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But it's a good fun game.
yeah. Either way, I'm excited to jump into Sea of Thieves after this recording. With that said, Garrett, aka Wayworn G, where can people find you?
You can find me at Wayworn G on at Twitter and Xbox.
Overall, Sea of Thieves can be a challenging but rewarding experience. It may seem as though it's a daunting task, but once you take those first steps, you will find a rich and exciting world in which to explore. Other than that, thank you all for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of Sea of Thieves. Are you old players that haven't played in a while and now want to jump back in? Are you new players that have never played before and maybe you're thinking about it now? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to talk to you guys and see your reactions to this. With that said, my name is Ethan, aka White Cedar. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and it's been a pleasure to present it. Love y'all. Take it easy now.